please remain standing. Was 1959. His last was 2001. In between, he won over 700 games. But to me, perhaps the most impressive thing in those 43 years, 7 losing seasons at a small public high school. 7 losing seasons in 43 years. That is simply remarkable. Best year period, in my opinion, as I looked at it, was from 1979 to 1984. During that 5-season stretch, the record was 125-10. The 1982-1983 team has a unique place in the history of Illinois basketball. They went 29-0 and did not win the state championship. They lost an epic super sectional game to Madison. Madison went on to state. After the season was over, they were deemed to have an ineligible player and forfeited all their games. So Bunker Hill's one loss became a win. 29-0, no state championship. In my opinion, there should be a banner and this should recognize that. Now that is probably the greatest team Bunker Hill has had. The teams that preceded them and the ones that followed them all had similar characteristics that Coach Hlafka installed in his ball clubs. Now, back in the day, when you got into high school as a freshman, you just wanted to make the team and get in the program. When I say the program, I mean the freshman sophomore team. If you were a freshman and you were really good, you played JV, maybe varsity second half of the year, but that's just how it was back in the day. The gym was packed every single night. Coach's summer basketball camp was attended by every kid at Bunker Hill who wanted to play basketball, and it was attended by kids outside the area because they wanted the opportunity to learn from one of the greats. Now, if you played for Coach, you learn the fundamentals and you learn how to play smart. Those 2 things can win you a lot of ball games as Coach grew over the years. Now, Coach has some sayings like all coaches do, and if you played for him, you will have some deja vu. You get more flies with money. The ball has error. Only one person is perfect. And of course, the famous Gilroy's weather story. Now, Coach Hlafka's favorite story that I hear him tell goes back to 1968 when they were playing Venice. They had a lead late in the game, and it was starting to slip away. So Coach called timeout and told his team, don't shoot unless you know you're going to make it. We're working clock. So they break the huddle, they inbound the ball, it finds the hands of Randy Morris, who promptly puts up a 25-footer the day before the 3-point line. As soon as the ball is out of his hand, Coach is standing up and calling for timeout. The ball went in. So they get into the huddle, and Coach says, what did I just say? Looks right at Randy Morris. He says, Coach, you said don't shoot it unless you know you're going to make it. I knew I was going to make it. How do you argue with that? The other story that I think of is from my senior year, which was 1999, we got to play in the St. Louis shootout, the King West shootout, Coca-Cola shootout, whatever they called it at the time at the Kiel Center or Savage Center. So we're in the locker room before the game. I mean, there's elite teams from all over the country there, a bunch of dudes that were 1-0 and were in the NBA the next year. So there we are, the little Bunker Hill, in this professional locker room. You know, they got TVs in there playing the games. And Coach is giving his pregame speech, and the team we were playing, they had a big kid. So Coach is telling us, you're probably going to see some dunks tonight, but you got to remember, a dunk just worth 2 points. And no sooner are those words out of his mouth than Coach Haynes screams, oh my God, did you see that dunk? So naturally we all turn around, and Deshaun Stevenson, who would be in the NBA the next year, and got him a steal, threw the ball off the backboard to himself and dunked it. So we watched that, pretty impressive. We just turned back around, Coach had also watched it, and he went right back into his speech, and on we went, but the timing was just quite humorous. Now, Coach Hlafka is a great ambassador for the game of basketball still to this day. Always has been, always will be. But more than that, he's a great teacher, not just of basketball, but just kind of life in general. And whether those of us who played for him realized at the time, he was teaching us more than the game of basketball. And the thing about Bunker Hill, they never were the biggest team, but they were always prepared, and they were never out-coached. So I will end this with my favorite Coach Hlafka saying, you guys admit that practice was over. Now let's run one for good old Bunker Hill.
I told my wife, I don't make any speeches. She's not going to make it either. When they start on offense or defense, that's all you want to talk all night long. I got a wife that's almost as nuts as I am. We love basketball. I love Bunker Hill. I was proud to say what Jim said to me. When I came here 59-60, Bunker Hill back and the team. That was great. I also like to thank the players, the alumni, all you guys. You're fantastic. And some of the players went beyond and they helped me coach. They knew more about than I did. I was blessed to come to Bunker Hill because of the material I thought was always here and always will be. And I'd like to thank everyone else in the community for helping back the team and us all the time. I don't want to leave anybody out, so I'm not going to mention any. But I always liked it when I saw our teachers sitting in the stands, group to Bunker Hill. Also like to see the players work out. We thought we beat anybody. Mainly the fans, you people, the fans, student body, what do you do? We walk in the gym, pack it out. Home or away. That's up to you guys. If you have it ready, we thought we could win, but it would be a lot easier since you practiced so much. And most of I'd just like to say I'd like to thank the players for what they did. I also like the coaches that helped me. And the players, they probably still didn't hate me because there's three things that's bad. One, cross country. Two, line full on time. And three, a thing called 2x4s, or 23 club. For you, what it was, they had three 2x4s to take one with the slot back and forth. If they get 43 in a minute, I give them a t-shirt, a red one. On the outside it says 43 club. All I can say about the players and that, I'm very thankful and I was very lucky that I had